21 and 4. He leads the league in rebounding. He's second in three-point percentage. He leads the league in double-doubles with 42. He said double-doubles in 42 out of the 44 games he's played.
That's an all-star right there.
Yeah.
Kyrie Irving is a showstopper. If ever there was a person that was made for All-Star Weekend, it's Kyrie Irving, okay?
Fans.
Half of this list is fucking second options and third options on their team.
Ooh. Speak on
Like
it.
they don't even, I don't give a fuck what your second option, no, you're a second option player.
But I'm gonna go deep here. It's an absolute travesty. I wouldn't give a damn if the NBA canceled the All-Star Weekend festivities. It's that bad.
The All-Star Game. Every year, like clockwork, the media explodes come All-Star Weekend because their favorite player didn't make the cut. It seems like every year, there's always snubs and frauds, and with ratings at an all-time low, you've got to ask the question, does the problem start with player selection? Are the most deserving guys actually getting the nod? Or is All-Star status just a product of media narratives, popularity, and big market bias? To find out, I built a machine learning model, a data-driven way to uncover the truth. Who are the real snubs? Who doesn't deserve to be there? And which stats actually matter in All-Star selection? Let's find out. The first step in building any machine learning model is collecting the right data. At first, I wanted to use data from the past 20 seasons. More data means a better model, right? But then I realized something. This basketball is much different than this basketball. Two completely different games. If I'm feeding my model stats like 3-point attempts or 3-point percentage and training it on 2000s All-Star data, that might actually hurt the accuracy. So, I drew a line. 2018. The Warriors were in the middle of their dynasty, redefining how teams space the floor. James Harden was having his iconic MVP season. We pioneered the double step back, allowing players all around the league to push the boundaries of how creative their bag can be. Scoring exploded and the game changed. I call this the prolific scoring era, and that's the data I'm training my model on. So I'm briefly going to go over the technical part of the model. If you want to learn more about how I optimize the model, I'm going to be linking my coding blog in the description below, where I go into depth on how I created it. So this type of model is called a supervised machine learning model, and it's a binary classification, aka you're either an all-star or you're not an all-star. I used the logistic regression algorithm, and I used this website called Basketball Reference to get the data from the 2018 season all the way up to the 2024 season. One thing I do want to mention is in one of my more complex models that I scrapped, where I use all the variables in Basketball Reference, in almost true NBA form, the variable that had the most effect on the model was 3-pointers made. However, this model didn't have much basketball realism, so I did scrap it. Eventually, I came up with a model with only these variables. The accuracy of the model is 97.87%, with a 99% accuracy of predicting non-all-stars and an 82% accuracy on predicting all-stars. Before I can reveal the real snubs and frauds of the 2025 All-Star selection, let's take a closer look inside the mind of the model. Here's what the model sees. 10 variables, each weighted by how much they influence All-Star selection. The higher the bar, the more they affect a player's chance of making an All-Star. Now, I want you to guess the top 3 variables affecting the model. The first is obvious. Points. Basketball at the end of the day is whoever scores the most points. But what about the second one? Really? Is availability the second highest variable affecting the model? Well, when you think about it, this is games started, so this stat might just be there to exclude bench players from All-Star selection. And the third is effective field goal percentage. Effective field goal percentage is field goal percentage, but it accounts for the fact that 3-pointers are worth more than 2-pointers. So the top 3 boxes you need to check off before becoming an all-star is you have to score a lot, you have to play a lot, and you have to be very effective. Interesting. Let's keep moving. Rebounding is at 4, steals is at 5, and 6 is impact, an augmented stat I created. It adds up all the box score positives and subtracts turnovers and fouls, then divides it by minutes played. Think of it as a simplified player efficiency rating scaled by time. Personal fouls is the only negative variable at 7. A negative bar means that more fouls mean you have a less likely chance of becoming an all-star. Turnovers is at 8, which seems counterintuitive that it is a positive stat, but if a team trusts you with the ball, then you'll probably turn the ball over more. Assists is at 9, and blocks is at 10. Whether or not you agree with this model, the fact is, this order can correctly predict whether a player is an all-star 97% of the time. Now it's time for the final results. Here are all the 2025 all-stars. The model said that 8 of these players are frauds and 4 players got snubbed. The first 6 are more second player options. Jaren Jackson Jr., Pascal Siakam, Jalen Williams, Alfred Sengun, Darius Garland, and Evan Mobley. All of these players make meaningful contributions on winning teams, but they simply don't have the production to match other all-stars. The next 2 are going to be a little more controversial. Firstly is Kyrie Irving. Now, Kyrie did tear his ACL, making him miss a lot of games, and with no Luka and a lot of the starting 5 injured, it's hard to have a high effective field goal percentage. The second one is Jaylen Brown. How can a finals MVP not be considered an all-star after 1 season? Well, the truth is, he has digressed since last season. It doesn't affect the Celtics too much because of how deep their roster is, but just looking at the numbers and no context from the previous season, he is not an all-star anymore. Now let's move on to the 4 snubs. The first one is Luka Doncic. The reason why he wasn't picked for an all-star this year is because he was injured from December all the way until the all-star game. People weren't going to vote for someone who they knew wasn't going to play, and the model can't tell at what time Luka was injured, so that's why it didn't label him as an all-star. The next one is Devin Booker. This is a classic example of what media perception can do to a player. Ever since choking the Game 7 in 2022, Devin Booker has been labeled a soft all-star. The media simply doesn't cover how amazing of a player he has been. The third snub is Tyrese Maxey. Now Maxey has been caught in an unlucky situation, with Joel Embiid and Paul George failing in the most predictable way possible. The 76ers have been the laughingstock of the league, and Maxey's season has been widely overlooked. The last and final snub is Domantas Sabonis. Not a flashy game or a particularly marketable player, but he averaged a double-double on the entire season. Simply put, he 100% deserves this award. That concludes all the disagreements the model has had with the data. Now, I'm not saying this model is perfect, far from it, but it's a different opinion that has no idea what narratives and legacies are at stake. So I will definitely be making a part 2 of this come next All-Star selection. If you want to learn more about how I did this, all of the code and the link to my coding blog will be put in the link in the description below. I will also be posting a color-coded spreadsheet with all the stats if you want to take a closer look at everyone's numbers. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next All-Star selection.